Good morning, Shekhar.
Yeah, good morning. Let me share my screen. Okay, yeah. See, in last session, just we started about Azure SQL Server, right? Yeah. Now, if people tell me what is the SQL Server, guys? What is the SQL Server? SQL Server is a relational database management system. Okay, a relational database management system. So there is a RDBMS server, RDBMS. So there are few servers which support RDBMS. As I said, Oracle, okay, Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, yeah. Next, another thing is MySQL. Okay, DB2. Okay, these are what? RDBMS, which supports RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Okay, yeah, next. Now, these are on premises. Coming to Azure Cloud, Microsoft giving Azure SQL Server. What is that? Azure SQL Server. So Azure SQL Server comes under PaaS, Platform as a Services. Okay, best example, as you know that already, so if it is in on premises, we have to purchase the license. First thing, we have to purchase the license, download and installation, configuration, management, maintenance, everything we have to take care. When you go for Azure SQL Server, you need not worry about installation, configuration, management, everything they have provided. Okay, so the way of allocating compute resources would be changed. As you said, if we create virtual machine, just we will look for CPU count. Other one is what? RAM. Okay, if I go for app services, what is that? That is ACU and RAM. Okay, Azure Compute Unit and RAM. Now, if we are now I am discussing about database. Database, the way of allocating the compute resources are different. Okay, first thing we can allocate DTUs. What is the full form of the DTUs? Database transaction units. What is that? Database transaction units. Okay, then we can say size of DB. So your database cost depends on what is that? DTU count. What is that? DTU count. If you allocate 10 DTU, the cost would be 1000. If you allocate like 30 DTUs, the cost would be like 3000. Okay, so depends on database DTU count, cost would be vary. Okay, so size of database, that is up to you. You can go for like TBs and TBs of data. If database size is very huge, still Microsoft Azure SQL Server, it supports unlimited data storage. Okay, maximum they have provided around 32 TB. Still, if you need, they can allocate the size. Okay, you have to raise the request, so they will increase the capacity. Okay, right? Yeah. Now have a look. I am going to create one Azure SQL Server. How to create it? Go to portal.azure.com. Okay, just portal.azure.com. Now databases, many things are there. Okay, fine. Now I am going to delete all these unnecessary databases, guys. Unnecessary resource groups. Okay. Yeah, I have deleted. Now have a look. Go ahead and create one resource group. First thing, go ahead and create one resource group. The resource group name is .NET 2023-RG. It's already taken, right? So I am giving .NET-RG. Okay, hit on review plus create it. Okay, yeah. Next, click on all services. When you click on all services, we have list of categories. There is a one option called database. Okay, yeah. In the database, see here we have Azure SQL databases. Okay, SQL Server. Under Azure SQL Server category, I have Azure SQL databases and SQL Server. Now, there is a star mark, right? Just highlight these two star marks. Highlight, highlight. So these two services will be placed in, where is that? Under favoritization. Okay, this we will call it as blade, blade, blade. Now go to SQL Server. As of now, no SQL servers are there to display. If we are expecting documentation, there is a one option called link more. Okay, what is that? Link more. So here it will give the information directly. It will take us to our azure.microsoft.com. I am saying since starting onwards, remember only this URL. Okay, yeah, next. Now navigate to here, try to create a SQL server. Okay, try to create SQL server. See, okay, .NET -RG. I am giving the name also should be unique in Azure, guys. Okay, the server name also should be unique in Azure. If I give TCS, say TCS dot database dot windows dot net, yes, it is accepting. Okay, if I give Wipro, okay, yeah, so this is the one, right? It is accepting. For example, if I give my TCS SQL server, yeah, it is accepting. So what is the name? My TCS SQL server dot database dot windows dot net. Okay, location would be east to west. That is up to you, right? Yeah. Next, how do you want authenticate? See, for example, this is the SQL server, Azure SQL server. This is my laptop. Okay, how we can communicate by passing username and password, right? Even though the database is like comes under pass, we have to communicate the database that was deployed in cloud computing. So to do that, we have to use, what is that? Username and password to connect this database, right? Now I am using SQL authentication. Okay, what is the login username? I can say SQL admin. Generally, or else you can use cloud admin, guys. Your wish. Okay, as it is SQL server, you can use SQL admin. Okay, fine. I will use my generic name itself, cloud admin. Okay, yeah, password, my standard password, SharePoint at the rate of 12345, SharePoint at the rate of 12345. Yeah. Okay, next, networking. How do you want connect? See, this, as I said, this is the database. So all list of services should communicate in Azure. Okay, to do that, Azure allow Azure services and resources to access this server. Yes. Okay, now click on settings. So this is Microsoft Depender. Note it down. If anywhere, if you are hearing about Depender, the keyword in Azure, that is security, guys. That is security. So inbuilt, Microsoft will apply depender security for each and every services if you want. Okay, but it is additional cost. Okay, yeah. Next, tags. As I said, what is the tags? Tags are name value pairs, which will give the information about resource. I can say server. What type of server? It is DB server. Okay. Only another tag is environment. Environment is TRD production. Okay. Yeah. Next, here resource type Azure SQL database server, and this is the name value. Right. Now hit on review plus create it. See, to create only server, we do not have any charges. I never ever passed any cost related information. Okay, just it is empty database server, there is no cost. When you create the database on top of it, then that would be the cost. Okay, now click on create. For example, see, this is the server, right? Then we are creating what? SQL server. To access SQL server, there is no cost. Inside of the server, we are going to create databases. Okay, how to create the database? I will show you. That is the next step. Now, just I am creating server. Okay, Azure SQL Server. Microsoft Azure SQL Server. It is in progress. Creation is in progress.
Sir, creation of the SQL server is independent of the PaaS and the SaaS model, correct?
As only. I am not telling about SaaS.
Okay, okay.
So here, you may have queried that can we create Oracle database still? No, guys. If you want to create Oracle database, then again you have to go for what? Infrastructure as a service. Create the VM, install and configure the Oracle database. Okay. So as it is Microsoft product, directly they have provided this PaaS services. Okay. Now there was a deal Oracle with Microsoft. Maybe in another 6 months, we can expect Oracle database also like this. How I have created. Okay, but when you go for AWS, yes, AWS people they have provided what is that Oracle database server as a PaaS services, guys. But in Azure, that feature we do not have. We can expect it in next 6 months. That service background process is going on. Okay, yeah. Next, now go to the server. My TCS SQL server. Okay, as you said, this is the all. What is that? Info about your Azure SQL Server. See resource group, status available, and east US subscription details, networking details. Right. So, do you see there is any option to start the service in the menu bar? There is no option of start and stop the database server. Right? Why? Any idea? Why is it so?
This is not server now. This is the database.
Database it is important, right?
No, it is not managed by us. It is managed by
Yeah. So, but when you go to app services, they have provided, right? Start and stop services.
Yeah.
Why? Because you know, right? Database server always key component. Am I right? If database server is down, then your application also won't be respond. Why? Because entire application data is storing in database server. So 100% 24/7, your database will be in live at any cost. Got it? So due to that reason, what does it mean? Microsoft saying that at any cost, your database server will be in live, irrespective of anything happen. Okay, yeah. So that's why they haven't provided what? Start and stop the database services. Always it is in live for 24/7. Okay, fine. This is the just server, guys. How we can create the database? See, if I go and click on SQL database, it doesn't have any database. Okay, it has no databases, no database at all. But how we can create the database on top of this VM? Sorry, on top of this SQL server. Now navigate to overview. There is a one option called here. Okay, create database. So you know, right? Azure Data Engineer, there would be one course. Have you heard about it? Azure Data Engineer. Azure Data Engineer, there are main three components, guys. One is SQL Server, Databricks, and Data Factory, Azure Data Factory, and the SQL Synapse. Okay, SQL Synapse, in a sense, this is the one, guys. There is a formerly we used to call it as data warehouse. Now they have changed it to SQL pool. Okay, so the course totally depends on only these four services that comes under AZ200. Let us show you Microsoft.com. At the end of the URL, learning. Okay, so go to Azure. Here we can say role, yeah, data engine. Two zero three, guys. Yeah, so Azure Data Engineer certification number is AZ203. Okay, here DP203. DP means data process. Okay, see these are the things: data factory, Synapse, and the data lake, Databricks. Only these four services. Okay, so that is the one. This is the one component. Okay, yeah, fine. Now go ahead and create one database. Create database. Okay, see, now see, a subscription is disabled, resource group is disabled, and we are creating server is on top of my TCS SQL server that was deployed in East US region. Right now, here database name I am giving TCS. What is the database name? TCS. Development, it is production. See, the way of allocating the compute resource, it will be changed. Now here, see, I am choosing standard. When I go for standard budget friendly, okay, if you observe DTU, how many DTUs? 10 DTUs. Each DTU cost is 115 rupees. Okay, 10 into 115, that is 1156 rupees. Okay, maximum size of database 250 GB storage, right? Forget about it. Now when I type 20, see, then 2000, change it to 30, sorry, 50 next. So this is what? 5000. Now change it to 3000. 3000 DTUs I am allocating, and the database size is 1 TB. The cost they are charging 3,57,000. 3,57,147. So including GST and all, it will go. What is that? 4 lakhs rupees. Okay. GST is mandatory for all education department. GST would be 18%. They have to pay all institutions under. Our software also 18% GST. Okay, fine. I do not want this much. Now go to DT count is 10 and the initial database size is 50 GB I am giving. You can increase it dynamically later. Okay, yeah. So this is what budget friendly and DTU. What is the full form of the DTU, guys? Database
Database
transfer unit.
units.
transaction unit.
Okay,
Transaction transfer is unit.
yes. Okay, here charges are applicable. Cost for DTU is 115. Total DTUs are 10. Now networking. How do you want access? I want to do it in public. Okay, so what does that mean? This is the database server. So this is your mission. You should communicate it. This is my mission. I should able to connect it. Some other ABC XYZ missions. It should be accessible. Okay, pass the username and password. It is mandatory. Clear? For example, add client IP. Client IP in the sense, if I choose, okay, then your client IP should be registered here. Another client IP should register. Some XYZ ABC user client ID should be registered here. Okay, so if I make it now, every time I should add your IP. For example, if you would like to communicate this database that was deployed in Azure SQL Server, Azure Cloud Computing, then I have to register your IP, your system IP 10.1.2.3 like this. Okay, yeah, next. Now click on security. So this is the same. I do not want any additional things and all. So I am choosing a default. Microsoft Defender is okay, fine, not required. Now go to additional settings. This is empty database. Is that? This is what? Empty database. Clear? Okay, yeah, this is empty database. Empty database in the sense it doesn't contain any data. If you are expecting some sample data, now choose sample data. It will give you Adventure Works LT. Adventure Works LT. Now choose this one. You can access it. Forget about it. Here I am choosing what? Collation. This is inbuilt Microsoft maintained database to maintain the logs. Okay, so I do not want any default data. This is empty database. On top of it, I can insert my custom data. Okay, see, this is the maintenance window, guys. Maintenance window in the sense, Microsoft will push the changes if there are any infrastructure related or patch related. Automatically, it will get updated. So you need not have to worry about maintenance part here. That's why I said, right, slowly they are taking everything automatically. They are doing everything automation. Okay, just we have to follow the process and implement the changes if anything is required in the project. Okay, so when I go for Azure SQL Server or PaaS services, here you need not worry about what? Installation, configuration, management, deployment, monitoring, everything it will take care. Okay, so patching activity is big activity. Okay, anyhow, that is not there at present in cloud computing. Clear? Yeah, next, databases. See, you can apply, this is what prod database. Hit on review plus create it. Okay, so before go ahead and submit the request, see the database cost is 1,156 rupees and the subscription details and the compute storage 10 DTUs 50 GB storage. So backup static geo redundant. Okay, and services and all to communicate. See, I need allow these services, guys. I am going back to here. Local is fine. Yeah, allow these services. Yes, I have changed it. Okay, now hit on review plus created. Still allow services and access this server. It is showing now. Let me check. Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah, next. It turn review plus create it.
So still that option is no, sir. It's showing
Yeah,
networking.
so while adding, then it will prompt it, no worries. Or else properties we can change. Okay. Yeah, so if I go and check, see, this is the database has been created successfully. So what is the database name? TCS. Here beside it is showing what? You have deployed TCS database on top of this SQL server, right? Yeah. See, now if you observe, see, this is the dashboard of database. So resource group status is online, location east west, subscription ID, and this is what? Tags, server name, and this is what? Connection settings, pricing type. See, as means standard 10 details we have applied. Okay, see, earliest restoration point, it has not been triggered the any backups. When you create insert the data, automatically backup will be triggered. We have to configure how to trigger the backups and all. Then from there, automatically time based on time zone, job should be triggered. Then your database will be packed up and stored, maintained by Microsoft. Okay, how to do that? I will show you later. Now, I want to connect this database. I want to connect this database. How can I do that? Anyone has any idea about communicating database server
I
nowadays?
know a little bit, yeah. IP and the user ID and the password.
Connection strings.
Okay.
Database name, username, password.
Yeah. Is there any tool to communicate this database as SQL server, especially whether it is on-premises or cloud, both are same. What is that tool name?
Sqlserver Management Studio.
Yes, SQL server.
Management Studio.
Yeah, Management Studio. So simply short form, we will call it as SSMS. Okay, SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, yeah, next. Now, we have to install and configure the SQL Server Management Studio. To download it, I can say SQL Server Management. First, go to Google. Management Studio free download. So latest version is 19.2. Let us see. See, download SQL Server Management Studio, and the latest version is 19.2. Okay. This document has updated last month, November 14th. Okay. So always you can check this timestamp here, guys. If there are any changes, automatically they will update the documentation. Okay. So this document Microsoft has updated. Yeah. Who has updated also you can see. These are the Microsoft guys. These are the Microsoft guys. See the GitHub, they have taken to GitHub. Okay, so these many people, they contributed to develop this documentation. Let it be fine. Now see, free download SQL Server Management Studio. Yes, download. See, it is quite common. If you observe, it is giving the info applies to everything. See, Microsoft on-premises SQL Server, Azure SQL Server, Management Instance, Azure Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Analytics Endpoint, Microsoft Fabric, Data Warehouse. Okay, but to connect any these services database related, you can use SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, this SQL Server Management Studio included another tool called Azure Data Studio. Okay, bullet point. I am going to install SQL Server Management Studio, and it has, what is that? It has inbuilt another tool called Azure Data Studio. Okay, so this tool inbuilt, you will get it. Using that as well, we can perform or we can manipulate the database related operations. Okay, so this is the new. Okay, it has more GUI and more features. Apart from that, nothing. New tool, I can say. Yeah, it is downloading.
In my company,
So
yeah, you are just
Sorry?
you in my company, you are just using the downloading the SQL Server like SSMS and creating the database over there. You are not creating any separate kind of data.
that's what I created in Azure, right? I created SQL Server and a database. Now I would like to communicate it. To do that, I am downloading one tool called SQL Server Management Studio.
Okay, you mean to say in the what you say on the premise, you download it and inside that you create it, right?
Yeah, wherever you want, you can download this tool. Tools can be anywhere, right?
Right, yes. Okay, this is the database schema, you can say, right now.
SQL database.
Schema, right? Right, there is in the SSM there are many database, right? For different project, you can say, right? This is one database, right?
Yeah, that is depends. One project may use Oracle, another project may use DB2. Okay, some open source projects they can use MySQL. Depends. Each project, there is no guarantee of using only Microsoft SQL Server. There are other database competitors, Oracle, right? You can go ahead and use it.
Okay, okay.
Sir, in this server, we can configure Postgre database.
PostgreSQL Server.
Yes, sir. Yes.
PostgreSQL Server, that is different again. Open source. You have to manually go for pass. Let's see
Okay.
if it is there. No. Open source database they are supporting. MariaDB is there. Postgre, yes, it is there, guys. Open source DB. Okay, MariaDB, have you heard about it? This is the third party open source, guys. That's why clearly they are giving open source database engines. MariaDB, Postgre, MySQL, PostSQL. Yes, these are all open source.
But suppose if you download the MySQL, then how, if suppose I want to connect the MySQL database, then how will do?
That is different story. There is a separate tool. MySQL tool is there. Through that we have to communicate MySQL.
MySQL Workbench, I think you're talking, right?
Yeah, workbench, correct. MySQL workbench.
Okay.
That is for MySQL, open source, right? So you can use MySQL workbench. Or Oracle also same.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I am going to install this tool in one of the VM. Okay, anyhow, this is big tool. I don't want to install it in my local laptop. So performance should be good. So what I will do now, I will try to access the VM and copy that software into on top of this VM. Okay, then I will show you how to establish the connection. Okay, yeah, so go here, cloud admin, SharePoint at the rate of 12345. Yeah. Yeah, this is the VM. Almost it has been done.
So again, we'll have to install SSMS over there, na? In the VM
I
to
have not
connect.
installed SSMS. I am downloading that tool, SSMS.
Okay, okay, downloading. Okay. We'll copy over there, right?
Yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah, now open. Just right click on copy. Okay, paste it. I thought it is taking 45 minutes. Okay, let me download it directly here. The server, the internet should be very fast. Okay, I am copying same URL. Okay, just copy. and paste it. Okay, yeah, double click. Okay, yeah. So default path it is taking. Yeah, this is the one C drive. Install it.
So these things you are installing in the VM, okay? Right?
Yeah,
Suppose in the VM, yeah, in the VM, I also want to create the database, then how to do?
VM also.
So this is the tool to connect to the database, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, like even in the same VM, I also want to create the database because in the past directly we have created, correct?
yeah, correct.
But in the SaaS, in the IS, how to do?
Yeah, download the SQL server and
Okay,
install and
skills.
configure. Yeah,
Okay, that's only.
yeah. So if I go to Google here, okay, just go to Google. Okay, download SQL Server 2022 Express or Enterprise Edition. Enterprise Edition. ISO file it is there, right? You people go ahead and download SQL Server, which version you want, and do that. This is the license. Okay. SQL Server Expression Free Edition. Same way you have to go and download, install and configure. It's downloading, right? So install and configure it. Okay.
And you can connect to the already, you have the
Yeah.
already one tool, right? Installing, right? From that you can connect the both.
Yes. Both
Okay.
on-premises SQL Server, Azure SQL Server, we will use same tool to communicate.
Right.
Okay, yeah, see, setup completed. All specified component have been installed. Now close it. Close. Now start. There is a one option, Microsoft SQL Server Tools 19. Okay, choose SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, yeah, it is opening. Okay, yeah, next. How can you connect these details? Navigate to database. Look at my screen. TCS is the database. Okay, see, this is the server name, right? My TCS SQL server dot database dot windows dot net. Now copy and paste it. Okay, so here I am choosing SQL authentication that we have changed. So what is the username did I pass? Cloud admin. Password SharePoint at the rate of 12345. Right? Connect it. Okay, see, this is the database. Here database showing what? TCS. Okay, can I create another database on same database server? Sir, no, guys.
Sir, we can create.
We can create. See, there is a right create database. We can do that. Okay, like this. Same. Now, this is the database. Okay, how to connect? Right click. There is a one option called new query. Okay, yes. Clear. This is the editor. If you want, you can increase it. Press Control in our keyboard. There is a mouse right. You can increase it like this. Okay, yeah. So I want to create one database. How to create the database? Sorry, table. How to create the table? Create table. Table name emp, id integer, name varchar of 20 means it will accept 20 characters. City again varchar of I am giving 15 characters. That's it. This is the syntax to create the table in SQL Server. Okay, id integer type, name character, city also character. Now copy and execute it. See. Okay, now to verify what data is inserted, what is that command? Select star from EMP. Okay, yeah, select it, execute. See, but no data. How to insert the data? Insert into EMP values. Okay, ID 10, name Rakesh, city Hyderabad. Okay, just copy and hit enter, hit enter, hit enter. So I am giving ID 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, Suresh, Naresh, Mahesh, Nilesh. Okay, Bangalore, Chennai, Pune. Okay, highlight and insert the date. Yes. Now finally select star from EM. See guys, this is the data. Okay. Now can I pull this data from database server to our application? Azure Web Apps. Just yesterday we seen. Yes, we can do that. How to pull the data? Here we have to write the code. Whether you will write Java code or .NET code or PHP code, that is up to you, which will talk to our database and pull the data and display it into, what is that, application. Okay, here I will show you how to write the C# code and how to pull the data from database to application. Okay, this code development you need not have to worry. Just I want let you know, okay, how the communication will happen from database to application. Apart from that, nothing. So that in real time, if you get any issues, the way of troubleshoot you can easily identify. Okay, so the coding part, forget about it. I will construct the code, how to establish the connection from database to app services. That we will finish it in next session. Okay, I will use same Visual Studio Code, but that is not our part. Just I want to let you know how our application will talk to database. That's it. For example, TCS.com is there. TCS people, they are using database server is SQL Server only, Microsoft SQL Server. So if I slash careers, and I type careers, so here you'll get one window. See guys, this is the database guys. They are pulling the data from database. Okay, they are providing serial number, country, and some what is that, design. So when I click on India, if there are any openings, you people can go ahead and verify. If you are looking for any openings, okay, Europe and UK, you can go ahead and verify these cities. Like you can apply the jobs. Okay, so this data is coming from database only. So how it is coming? Background they wrote C# code. Okay, yeah, so this is about what? How to create the database server and how to create the database and the communication, how to insert the data. Okay, yeah, so for practice it, in next session, I will show you how to pull the data from database to app. Next, I will show you how to perform backup and restore operation for database and how to take the snapshot of database. That all will complete it in next session. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
sir.
guys. Tomorrow we'll connect back. Bye. Have a great day.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, Vijay. Yeah, Raji.
Sir, actually, I have a query means I want to purchase one domain means at the cheapest rate
Yeah.
just to practice means
Yes,
only
yes.
for practice and practicals this.
Yeah.
So please guide, sir.
Yeah, purchase it domain. Go to GoDaddy
Okay.
and type whatever you are looking. I shown you right, saitechnologies.com. Like that, razivtechnologies.com. Type it. Then immediately it will show you the cost. Next, pass your credit card or UPI details, and then it will be available. That's it.
So it is showing approximate 500 per year. Is it means good?
Yeah, that is common, guys. Yes.
Okay.
Including GST, you can add plus or minus 150. That's it.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Tomorrow I'll connect back. Bye. Have a great day.
Okay, bye, sir.